Texas!
He's a 10.
I choose this family.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 151 of 91 Lone Star Roundup. I'm one of your hosts, Katie, and with me are my lovely co-hosts, Grace and EJ.
Hello.
Today, we will be talking about our wishlist theories and thoughts for 91 Season 9, which is premiering today. And we'll also be talking about a few thoughts about Nashville, because if you guys listened last week, you know we have we're very opinionated, which is fine. It's good. Like, I know a lot of people have their thoughts, so yeah. But anyways,
we're trying to keep an open mind, but things have just kind of, we're not sure how much open mind to keep.
I'm not great at open-minded things. I realized that, especially last week. So just me avoiding anything that has to do with that in Nashville. Like,
honestly, yeah.
But I love Chris O'Donnell. He's such a good actor. I miss him. I miss NCIS LA.
Okay, that's what he was in. Yeah. Anyways,
let's get to it. That's at the end.
I know we always do a wish list, so I always feel like I have to put this in here. I don't really have personally like that much. I don't know what it is. Like these past few seasons, I'm just like, they're not like making us like be like, oh, I want this to happen, that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, there's like overall things I want to happen and stuff. I really want Ghost Bobby appearances. I know that it's probably not going to happen, but like it doesn't stop me from wanting it. It's just like even now, I'm just like, not that I forget, but like, I'm just like, oh, yeah, we're not seeing Bobby. It's like, it's so like, it's still like sort of unreal that that's a thing. And I know like, it's like now he's like off like the like press cast pages, and I'm just like, oh, that hurts. So yeah. It's gonna be weird. And then obviously I want Uncle Buck, especially now that he has a nephew as well as a niece. I would love like a chaotic scene of him just babysitting or something with both kiddos.
Yeah, baby Bobby on his chest in one of those carriers, and G running around like crazy doing something. That would be hilarious.
Because remember, we already got a babysitting scene with him and G, which was really funny. So I am definitely down to see more Uncle Buck. That's for sure. That is definitely one of my favorite things since season 4. I think, like, as Katie said, like, it's kind of hard to form wish lists at this point. Like, because we used to have we had pretty thorough wish lists for Lone Star. Mm-hmm. And for past seasons of 911 as well. And now, I don't know. I want it to be good.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I have such a complicated relationship with season 8 and with a lot of negativity.
Yeah.
But season 7 was so good.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, please. I just want it to be good. And I will say, like, we'll talk about the trailer for the premiere and what we're looking at for season 9 in a little bit, like after all the wishlist things. So we'll talk about what it's looking like, but I'm looking at it more positively than I was at first. But I will say, when the things first dropped, I was so pleased. I just want it to be good. That's it.
Yeah.
That's that. I want it to be good. Of course, I would love little things, you know. I want to see more of all the family lives. I want to see like actually meaningful dives into like grief and moving on, like as a family after Bobby. And I'm really hoping that like exploring those topics might help some of the fandom move on as well, because like I feel like a lot of people are still kind of in shock or in denial about Bobby dying. And so I'm hoping like both as a show and also as a fandom, like we can start moving on a little bit, because we'll have more to put between that. And, you know, we all know I'm a Tommy lover, so I'd love to see him if he shows up in any capacity, whether it's as Buck's boyfriend or just as a helper. However he shows up, I'd love to see him. And I'm also hoping we can repair some of the in show relationships that are a little fractured over
for sure
the last few episodes. And that's where I'll leave that, but we'll tackle that when we get to it. But that's my hopes. That's a broad view, I guess.
Yeah. No, bringing up a grief, I think, is a good point because I feel like everybody was just kind of so scattered. And then there were some comments at the end of the season finale of last season that was like Chim making that comment about how Bobby, the things that Bobby did for them, he's going to live on through them. And it was kind of like a charge to do better, which was awesome. So I feel like it would be nice. Like my roommate and I are currently watching a series where like one of the main characters lost their sister, and but they're mentally, like emotionally, they didn't process it like quickly. It took like 6 weeks. So like in the show, the characters, it had been like 6-8 weeks when all of a sudden they just had a breakdown, and it was like because the groups had like a little ferret. They called a ferret Bueller. It was hilarious. But the ferret disappeared, like it ran away, but it was in the office or something. And so they're freaking out about like it because he was freaking out. And it was all of a sudden it finally came out. It was more like he didn't want to lose the ferret because he wasn't ready to lose his sister, and he doesn't want to lose another thing. So I feel like something like that needs to happen for like Buck and even the 118 in general. And I know we're going to have they're going to do some sort of dedication or memorial for Bobby at the station. So I'm curious what they're going to do with that.
I'm kind of ready for old 126 moment in a way.
Yeah.
Obviously more meaningful because Bobby is in our hearts, but
right. Yeah. And I definitely want to see, like Uncle Buck and just the family interactions. I want to see more of Chris and Eddie, especially now that Chris is like mid-teens and not long he's going to be an adult, and how Eddie is handling the fact that he has a teenager that's, could be going to college in the next few years. And Chris is a smart kid. Yeah. So I want to see that. I want to see how the kids are growing. And I think I'm curious how they're going to manage bringing in May and Harry as full season characters. Because I feel like there's a lot for them. They would have to be in a lot of this episode. So I'm curious how that's going to work. Because we know, I'm assuming the space thing is going to be the first few episodes.
Yeah.
So I want to see that. Yeah. But you're right. Like, I don't feel like I have any oh my God, I have to. But also I feel like 911 kind of has been pretty good about not leaving on major cliffhangers at the end of a season. So when the new season comes around, we're like, okay, well, the major stuff was resolved at the end of last season. So I don't have whereas in Lone Star or something, I think it's end of season 2 when we found out right at the end that Billy was closing the 126. And then we were like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And then we start seeing all this stuff. Whereas, so we had a whole bunch of stuff for our wish list. And then what we want for the 126, how we want it to get back together. So we don't have as much of that. I know there was talk at the end of season 8 about Buck leaving the 118 and is he going to go through with it? I don't think he's going to. I think things have kind of been resolved there, but I don't know. Yeah. So some clarity, but yeah, I don't really have any major have to sees.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, has 911 ever done a major season clip? I feel like we do mid-season cliffhangers, a lot, but I don't think we do end-of-season cliffhangers.
Yeah, because
I don't think we have.
Yeah, the mid-season is, more cliffhangers. I feel like they haven't done, real big, shock value cliffhangers in a while, even for the mid-season.
The last one that comes to mind is when Eddie decided to leave the 118 for a spell, and that was a mid-season cliffhanger. That was the Christmas episode that they showed. Right. So, at least I think it was Christmas. So that's the last one I can think of. Honestly, it's been so many things happening. I barely remember what season that was.
Right. Well, and we had the lightning strike in season 6. That wasn't even a mid-season. That was just in the middle of the B side of the season. It was just a cliffhanger for the next episode. Given the way shows have been canceled and sometimes very suddenly, I'm wondering if the writers have realized that they don't want to leave the fans hanging if, God forbid, something happens at the end of the season and the network decides, now we're not going to renew it, which would be completely ridiculous. But
potentially, but I also feel like you kind of have to leave some things not tied up, because then people aren't, even with a show that's been on as long as 911, if you just keep things like just very stable, it's gonna be boring and people might
Yeah,
not come
no, that's
back
true.
and be like, because there have definitely been shows that I've watched where I've kind of lost interest after a while because they've gone on for all these seasons and it's like, why am I still watching this? And like, if I'm watching a show for a really long time, like, I'm not going to be ending that show until that show decides to end itself and stuff. Like, it depends the show, but like, I'm in it until like the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do agree with EJ that that's probably why they don't do it. And honestly, I do like that. Well, I would be devastated if it got canceled. Like, we would not be left with little. Like, they could have canceled it at the end of season 8. And would it have been devastating? Absolutely, especially since we wouldn't have gone to like follow the journey and all that. And like, obviously, we don't know what's coming in season 9, but
Right.
like, it still
Yeah.
also would have had some resolution. Yeah, I don't. I go back. I go back and forth on that. I agree with both. But yeah, I guess we'll just see what's.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just see what's happening. I really need them to pick up the ball on this season.
Yeah, I'm here for the ride. At least on
Yeah.
this engine. I can't say much about the 113 yet, so.
I agree with
Well,
that
we're
one.
sticking with the 118.
Yes.
Whether they're on a rocket or not,
that was a good
we're just
one.
hanging off of one of the like exhausts. Like, we're here. We're gonna like blow in the smithereens, but we're here.
But I guess let's talk about the trailer for season 9. So of course they had like those little like promo things that they were posting online, and those ones did not like thrill anybody at all. Like, was I feeling the vibes that yes, I was, but like I'm also just like, what even are we watching? Because I'm just like, I don't know, but the trailer actually did like pick up a little bit, I would say. So for of course we get like the typical like 911 emergency, and then I loved like the cinematic shots of like the 3 fire trucks and then Athena getting out of her cruiser. And then there was this one part, and of course we're seeing something at the same time where Eddie was saying something like, part of what makes someone an everyday hero is the willingness to save lives. And then of course we see the guy Trip getting swallowed by a whale, and that's Mark Consuelos' character and stuff. And I'm just like, what? I wonder where they got that from. I was gonna say that so casually, but I want to know what is going on in that writer's room because it's just like the things that are happening. I'm just like,
didn't that just happen not long ago in like South America?
See, I don't know about that. I'm sure it did. But I'm not like up on that, I guess. Like, I haven't heard anything. I feel like that's more likely.
I mean, I think they are definitely they're doing analogies in this. They've got something they're saying here. I'm not against it. I just think they should let him be swallowed by the whale. That's it.
Yep.
I agree.
And
for legal reasons, that's a joke.
February 2025. A man from Chile was briefly engulfed by a humpback whale in February 2025. An incident captured on video by his father while kayaking.
I literally just picture this in the writer's room, like the writers just being like, this is what we gotta do for our next season.
Right?
Oh, I have so many ideas around that, but yeah, that's what I picture. And then we have Jim just being like, oh, let's get a move on, and Eddie jumping in, which I have to send this to you guys later, but I saw the funniest video the other day with Eddie jumping in the water. The edit to it was so funny. So I will but yeah, just random side note. And then doing CPR on him, and like Hen or whatever, and I love him saying to like Hen, oh, you saved me from the fish, and Hen goes, it's a mammal, sir.
It's like, I feel like I would say that though.
Yes. It's a very Hen thing to say. I'm like, that they got that.
I would be with Hen. I'm not gonna lie. And then later, Trip's like saying how he wants to reward Hen for saving him. And Hen's like, oh, you don't have to reward me. Like, I was just doing my job. And then Hen goes home and tells Karen about it. And Karen is like, Trip Hauser is sending you to space. And Hen is like very excited about it. And like is telling Karen about it. And Karen is just like Hen wants Karen to come with her. She's like she's so excited. She's like, you're gonna come with me. And Karen then says, like, stone straight, is like, I'm a serious scientist and that Trip Hauser doesn't care about serious science. And she goes, I can't go to space. And I was like, okay, this makes total sense why Karen isn't there. And I would totally expect this from her because I feel like, because this guy's like a rich businessman, and I feel like
gee,
it's
I
just
guess
like
what
a
this is
joke.
analogy for.
Yeah, like
I wonder
to
who
him,
this
it's
is
a joke. I know, it's so funny because people were like, the suits they were wearing is like identical to like the Katy Perry thing, and I'm just like,
Yes. Yes.
it's just I don't know. But so then Hen is like telling Athena about it and asking Athena to go with her. And Athena is like, you want me to go to space with you? Are you crazy? Absolutely not. In true Athena fashion, like I love her for it. And then, and she's just like, Athena is just like, she's like to Hen, I can't believe I let you talk into this. Like in true Athena fashion, I'm like, Athena, girl, why? And why did you do this?
I don't know that there's actually anything you could pay me to go into space.
You
Thank you, I'm good.
Airplanes are already enough for me. I don't think I could do further.
I would go.
I watched the Challenger explosion. I'm good.
I don't know. I don't know, just because like I don't know.
Just keep me on the ground.
I don't know. Like, yes, it would be cool, but I don't think I would want to go. Not even for like any like specific. I don't know. Just seeing people that have gone to space that shouldn't be in space, I'm like, it seems distasteful to like be like, oh, I really want to go there. Like acting like it's an attraction. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I would definitely not treat it as like a travel attraction or anything like that. And I think that's the problem is that, we had NASA and doing all the space and everything, being the first person in space and all that. And then, as it progressed, but even, things have changed a lot. And there's a lot of amazing science and work going on that I, if I was in that field and felt like, but I also understand where Karen is coming from. Like I would go with a serious group. I would not go with some random political or whatever duty is who's got some money to just, oh yeah, we're just going to go to space.
Yeah, see, like he's treating it like a joke.
You know what's so interesting though, and this is like a very mini side tangent, I promise. But it's so interesting that literally in the span of a few years, we're talking about space travel as in like, oh, more people than just the scientists are going.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know how we all used to be like, especially when we're growing up, we're like, oh, I want to go to space. I want to be an astronaut. I don't know that I ever said I wanted to be an astronaut. But like still, like, we're like, oh, we want to go to space. But it was like, unless you got like years of intensive training, it was not possible. You used to just be able to go, I want to go to space one day. And they used to leave it at that.
Right.
How weird is it at this point that there's that added discussion now of, well, not like these folks did.
Yeah.
And like not like this distasteful celebrity did.
Yeah.
Like, well, what the hell?
Yeah, and I was like researching it this morning because I was like, doesn't it take a while to get into space? And so I did research it, and it's like if you're just going to like not anywhere
lower
further,
orbit.
yeah, like it only takes a few minutes, if not like some parts take a few hours. But like if you're trying to go to like Mars, it's gonna take months, if not years.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy to even think about. So I was just like, because like, I don't know, I've read books about space, so I was just like, oh, like, wait a minute.
Like, oh, sci-fi has never seemed more close. Also, dystopian novels are reality, so
hey,
I guess we're all just living our childhood.
Yeah. I feel like, we're getting to a point where like, I mean, when I grew up, the Jetsons was a thing. And it was a family that lived in like this tall building, and they had like a hover car, or whatever you want to call it, like your own little space shuttle. I'm like, we're getting closer and closer to like having hovercraft and different ways of
people just focus
transportation.
on flying cars.
You know,
they can't make a rocket that stays in the air, but like, guess I'm looking at SpaceX, but they can. They could probably make a floating car. Like, why don't they just stick with that?
Well, they have dump trucks that drive with wheels, or Teslas that look like freaking refrigerator on wheels. Anything is possible, I suppose.
I like to call it a garbage can, but yeah.
A garbage can! Yes. Well, that's just what I refer to as
Yep.
It's the raccoon bin. Anyway, that was...
Oh, I love that.
Okay, so back to the promo. I am excited to see Eddie back at the 118. I wasn't questioning that. I knew that was going to happen. But it's nice to see him back. I'm excited to see how they're going to handle Ravi, which that actor needs to get promoted to series regular. Just saying.
I feel like no hate to obviously Corinne, and I can't remember the guy that plays Harry's name, but no hate to them. But I feel like Ravi should have made main, Anirudh should have made main before they did.
Yeah.
Because he's freaking on, though he's with the 118, not part-time, full-time, so I feel like he should just be there.
Yes.
Literally. Anyways, back to the finishing this, but basically this is they're all watching this, televised, of course it is. And apparently Trip picked 5 everyday heroes to go, and I'm just okay. And of course he's alerted about the beginnings of a geomagnetic storm by some other guy, and tells him, oh, we should just scrub the launch. And Trip's oh, we're not doing that, of course. And
yay, capitalism.
Literally. And of course, the contact with the spacecraft is eventually lost to the sudden, quote, sudden, sure, magnetic storm. And I'm just shocker, as if that hasn't happened before. I'm just getting flashbacks to the cruise ship, among other things. And then Karen
I was thinking of the first major Indian emergency of LoneStar, the electric storm.
Yeah,
that did cross my mind.
That
did cross. Yep. And then Karen is saying how in the middle of all of this chaos is Hen and Athena. I'm yep. And then Harry's in the fire truck.
Because of course they are. Why not?
Why wouldn't they be?
Why not? Why wouldn't they be in space?
And Harry's in the fire truck with them and asks what they think is going on. And Chim's the end of the world. And I'm yep, that's a typical Chim response. And then we see rubble from buildings crumbling, and Chim tells everyone to get in the engine.
That's to save you, my friend, but okay.
Then
better than staying out in the open, I guess.
Yep.
Right.
And then this lady was to Trip, oh, you sent these people up when you knew the storm was happening, and you did it anyway. And I'm yeah, he deserves to be called out. And then of course with this all happening, we see a car on fire. Literally, it looks like a fireball hit this car. And then May is telling Denny and Mara that the one thing she knows about their moms is they never give up, which I thought was so sweet.
Yeah.
And then we see this part kind of turned me off, because it's Hen and Athena in space, and things are happening, and Athena looks like she's floating out of this craft. They're just what the hell is going on? I was
just things, apparently.
I'm just that.
I wish our podcast listeners could see my face, because it's just
I'm just really.
I beg your fucking pardon. Is my face facing?
I don't know. I just this is gonna be an interesting one.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know what? Sure. Why not? Why shouldn't we?
I'm kind of the only thing I'm nervous about is they tend to drag these over multiple episodes, and I'm fine with the 2 episode, but sometimes I think the 3 episode like thing is like pushing it a little too much.
Mm-hmm.
My guess is it might follow the tsunami format where we only really get to like the big bit of it at the very end of the first episode, and then the next 2 episodes actually follow it. That's my guess. I don't know.
Right.
But like, I wonder if that's what we're getting.
It depends how good it is, because like there have been some formats, like for Lone Star for the Snowstorm, I think the 3 episodes was really good. But then there's been other like ones where they did do like the 3 episodes, and it was just like, why?
I feel like the mudslide was a little prolonged, honestly, but also that was not my favorite emergency anyway.
I feel like the first episode's gonna have a lot in it. Especially with saving Trip and the memorial of Bobby dedication.
Yeah, they did
some of that other stuff. So they might do something like that where it's like the beginning or the like end of episode 1 is the start kind of the arc. Don't know. We'll see.
And I guess I'm like, is it going to be, I don't know, some crazy call comes through the radio and then they give that 24 hours earlier, or like a week before,
probably.
like that. Which, listen, I love that. That's OG 911. That's how they do stuff. I'm fine with that. Listen, you know, y'all, the first promo we got, I did not like. I did not like the first promo we got. The one with the Ordinary song over it. Love that song, by the way. I didn't like it. I thought it looked fake. I thought like trash.
Everyone thought it looked fake, and I'm just like, you're really gonna do Ordinary like this? Like, I love that song. I love Alex Warren. Literally, like every song I listen to, but I'm just like, really, and like
they just did it because it was popular. That's it. That's the only reason they did it.
They've done it in a lot of like shows and stuff, and I'm just like, okay.
Whoever is in charge of making promos and trailers, ABC, you need to reconsider. I'm sorry, like that's so harsh. Like there's just this poor person like, that doing trailer, their job. Like, I don't think they're like doing. AI. I don't think they're doing their job well. Let me just put that.
Right.
Not saying that the trailer was AI. I'm just saying it looked like AI.
It did look like
It's been made fun of so many times.
Filtered.
It was.
Yeah. It was
so yeah.
I did not like it. Why am I moving my hands like Donald Trump? I don't know why I'm doing this. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna stop doing that. Let me know if I start turning orange. But anyway, I was not a fan of that. And honestly, I started worrying a bit when we got that promo because I'm like, oh, with how, in my perspective, season 8 went, like if season 9 is going to go down the tank, like I'm a little worried for the future of the show. Like I don't want to quite say I was doomsaying a little bit, but I was a little bit like, I don't know. I was not sold on the space thing. I was just like, guys, for God's sake, do another earthquake. Like, just do a wildfire. Do something. And I stand by that. I would still take an earthquake or a wildfire over this whole space thing. But I like the trailer. I actually do think it looks interesting. Do I think it should be done or was necessary? Absolutely not. But you know what? I'm here. I am here for it. I will watch it. I think I'm going to have a good time with it. But I will tell you guys, and you all know how much I love that one. But I was not sure about this one. I don't know. I'm not 100% sold anyway, but I'm better than I was.
Yeah, you're right. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's a lot of Photoshop and a lot of, AI, and I've been dealing with a lot of it recently, having conversations with different people about it. So it's been prevalent in my mind. And then just to see that, I was like, oh, I don't know about this. And then, but seeing an actual like trailer, like, okay, this is better.
This is like 911.
Yeah.
It's also nice, like, that we actually have, we have the characters talking. We have like little bits of like the characters that we know and we love and all that. Like, am I 100% convinced on the whole? I don't know. The thing that like I keep going back to, and we got a decent explanation for this, is that like it does still feel like Karen should have been the one going up. And do I think they actually did a decent explanation? Yes, I do, because I see what they're doing here. Mm-hmm. The analogy is clear as day, okay? But also, how dare they do a space trip and not have Karen go to space?
Yeah.
It's not me.
It would have had to be like a different scenario.
Yeah.
Because I'm glad that Karen's not going because that would have made her whole job like a joke.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
She probably never
sure.
would have been respected by her coworkers again.
Yeah, I
like,
was just
Right.
about to say that. I was just about to say I'm sure she would be looked at like a joke too, given that she's a rocket scientist.
But also, just give me the lesbians going to space together, like in a non-emergency way. Just give me the lesbians going to space together, please. My moms, please.
Yes, and I just want
maybe this is just my
together.
That's what I'm saying. I think this is just my desperate need to have more Wilson family content. Like that's it.
Oh, yeah,
please give me. That's not rooted in foster family / adoption drama. Like, not that those places don't have their place, but like, still, give me something fresh, give me something new. That's not focused on them just as a family. That's just focused on them as a couple. I know. We'll see. I am excited to watch the episode.
Yeah, I am looking forward to it.
It's like it's gone from, oh no, what the fuck are they doing, to, oh, it's our silly little wee woo show being extraordinarily silly now.
Yeah,
for sure. But moving on to 911 Nashville, we're not gonna talk about the trailer in full, but we will talk about a few main key points, I guess. So
I apologize in advance for my interjections. I am very sleep deprived and very little filter.
That's okay. So there's a concert, it's Kane Brown, and then during it there's like a tornado, so like everyone has to get down. And then we see the tornado and I'm like, oh, how original. Like I get
Billy always done before. Yeah, no.
and then I did notice in the promo that like a lot of the people are talking these fake country accents, and like I get it, but I'm also like it just seems like way too fake.
Guys, are we being punked? I feel like we're being punked.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't. Even on Lone Star, the people that were Texans didn't talk in like these fake country accents, so I just don't understand why we're doing that. But anyways,
they like actually got the drawls fine with Lone Star. Like they got the appropriate Texan drawl, in my opinion, because a bunch of them did, like the people that weren't transplants did have like Southern accents or like a slight cut, but not that. It was not so much that you kept getting hit in the face with it.
Right, and this is what I'm getting with this a little bit. And then Don, who's the captain, says to Ryan, "Oh, good job, kid." And I'm like, "Okay, this is I don't
Oh no, how original. We have never heard this before in our lives. In fact, we've never had this father and son dynamic ever play out on TV. How are we ever gonna have
anything?
Yeah,
no. This has never happened before in the history of television, and actually I think they should be given an award for originality. Also, on that note is
yeah, and like
also on that note, I've not been paying attention. Is Ryan the son of
yes?
Yes. Okay, as you can, I don't know.
I'm gonna get into the character bios too, because I wanna whatever.
Because I've not been paying attention. I know there's Blue. Is he the stripper?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the only name I know.
Get to that.
That's because Blue stood out in my head.
So yeah, this trailer and just anything they put out has really not thrilled us. I know we talked about this last week. It's funny because like when Lone Star's trailer dropped, I remember it very like clearly. Trailer dropped, I want to say in like November, December, and then I watched it and I was like, okay, this looks good. I'm gonna watch this. And then they had like little promos after that, like leading up to the premiere in January. And I remember watching those and being like, okay, I'm very excited for this. I'm going to watch this. And then I watched it and I was like, oh, this is great. This is not the vibe for me. I was thinking about this earlier randomly. This is like, I know we're totally being like, Nashville is just not it. But like one of my pet peeves, and this is different because we're obviously like talking about Nashville or whatever because we talk about, 9/11 and whatever. We talk about TV, I guess is a better way to put it. But like my one pet peeve is when I would post Lone Star videos is people commenting on them how much they didn't like Lone Star. Like I will never do that to somebody that posts about Nashville and is actually excited about Nashville. I don't
interact.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't. Your opinion is not asked for, so don't give it. That's kind of my thing. It's like anything you like, you
don't rain on someone's parade.
Yeah,
If like
exactly.
if their opinion is not harmful,
like it's just I don't know. That was just some random thought that I wanted to mention. This is different because we're like obviously this is our own space and we could talk about whatever we want. But I'm just like
yeah,
I get it. Some
honestly,
people.
anyone listening to our podcast right now should know what they're getting into. Just saying, we did not hide our thoughts.
Yeah,
I think
for
that,
sure.
and our thoughts aren't like not unique because like a lot of people feel this way and a lot of people just aren't gonna watch it because of multiple different reasons. A lot of people are not gonna watch it because of Lone Star. A lot of people are not watching it because of 911 and Bobby, and that's fair. Like there's various reasons I've heard of people not wanting to watch it.
Yeah. And I think it's valid. I know a fair amount of people are gonna stop watching 901 as well because of everything that happened with Bobby. There's some shifts happening in audience for both of these shows.
Yeah.
Especially also with Lone Star being ended as well. Where's the Lone Star? Because I know there were people that watched Lone Star that did not watch the OG. So like, are they gonna migrate to the OG? Are they gonna migrate to Nashville? Are they moving away completely? I am wondering about that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I have one of my friends that has like a Tarlos page. She doesn't watch OG. She just watched Lone Star. And there's like a fair amount of people that just watched Lone Star that never got into 911, which I actually find very interesting.
Yeah, especially starting out watching 911, because I think all of us started out watching 911, right?
Yeah.
I know. I wonder what it was like to go like from the opposite.
Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of people are just like they're not gonna if they didn't watch 911 before, they're not gonna watch Lone Star, which is fine. I do think I don't know, they'll just watch other things or we watch.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up about like not raining on other people's parades. I feel like that's been a lot in the last, even like fandoms in the last 10 years. Like if you don't follow the herd, then you're the black sheep, and I don't like that. So yeah, definitely like if somebody does love them like we loved Lone Star and 911, then totally like and we would never go on someone's page and be like, yeah, we don't like them. But we're going to be honest with you guys as our listeners that we are currently not thrilled or excited by the promos we're getting for 911 Nashville. And we are still going to give it a chance. It just isn't going to be our primary focus for the podcast.
No.
Listen, I feel like I'm probably the least open-minded of the three of us concerning Nashville. Like I feel like that. I might be wrong, and I get that. I get pretty set in my ways. I get a bit set in my ways and my way of thinking, but like there is always the possibility that we will be blown away.
Yeah.
Do I think it's gonna happen? No. But there's the possibility that we're all gonna be blown away. And none of us would shrink away from telling you guys, hey, actually, we were wrong. And
You're
like
okay,
most of the time, we've been wrong plenty of times before. And like usually we all tend to be of similar minds as well. Like we tend to share opinions on a lot of things, which I feel like that maybe will come off as, I don't know if anyone takes it as such, but like maybe people will see like other opinions aren't welcome. We will listen to other people. Like obviously you guys are always able to submit comments and like give us feedback, that like your own thoughts. And even if we don't agree, we will still interact with it and consider it. And sometimes there are times we don't agree with each other too. And this is a safe place for non-hateful like discussion,
Right. Yeah. And like there definitely is like it's like when I post like live reactions of whatever shows I watch or whatever shows I do that for, like 911 and stuff, it's fine to be like, hey, I didn't like this episode. Like I will never get mad at somebody for being like, I didn't like this episode. But there's like the people that come into comment sections and say they don't like a show and they do it deliberately. And then you can always tell if somebody's deliberately doing it or if somebody's like, hey, I just didn't like this episode or I didn't like this for this reason. I'm just like, okay, they're just sharing their thoughts. And like I like people sharing their thoughts, so that's fine. But it's just something randomly I thought of this morning, and I was just like, even in other spaces I've in, I was like, I really don't get why people always feel the need to announce if they don't like something. It's just like that's just unnecessary. And
Yeah.
I think I think there's a big difference between you're always we're all gonna have our own opinions on things, and opinions are welcome, they're valuable, but do not conflate your opinion for fact. Your opinion is always going to be subjective. And I say this just like in general for anyone that is going to share stuff like that. Like it's perfectly okay to come on. Like I wouldn't seek out people's posts that are cheering on something, and be like, well, I don't want, but like it's perfectly okay, like as Katie said, to be like, hey, I didn't really like this episode, and maybe even share your reasons why. Like that could open an interesting discourse. But if you're going to be like, this episode was fucking trash, this show is going to hell, or even shaming somebody for liking like an episode or a storyline that maybe you didn't. I don't know. Like there are big differences between like shaming and
for sure
disagreeing.
Yeah, it's like constructive criticism is usually welcome because you're willing and acknowledging that there was a mistake and that you guys had healthy dialogue. But when it starts to get toxic and start badgering people for their choices, that's when it starts to get negative.
And also, two things can be true at the same time.
That's true.
Like maybe you didn't like the episode because of something, and maybe I liked the episode because of either that thing or another reason. It's always interesting, and that's why it's great to hear opinions and interact on posts, and that's why we love hearing feedback from you guys. But also, just in general, keep it healthy, and also like if people are coming into your space and being negative, don't be afraid to step back or block them or like remove yourself from the situation. They're just looking for trouble.
Don't
utilize the block button and do not feel bad about it. That's my motto.
It's so nice. I love the block button. One of the best inventions. My block lists on several places are so long.
Yeah, and there's like when I spent a lot of time on Tumblr, I even like got those apps where you could like block certain tags, so I didn't have to see them. Didn't mean I didn't want to follow the person, but certain phrases or shows that I didn't watch, I blocked. So it's okay.
Oh yeah, my blocked like tag list and my blocked user list on Tumblr is long.
Yeah. But I'm hoping I'm wrong that Nashville is going to be not the greatest, but I'm not. We'll see. It starts tonight. We're recording this a few days earlier, but we're talking about it being because it'll air tonight or the day of, and I'll watch it when I can, but I don't know when that's going to be.
Yeah, I'm gonna aim to watch the pilot by the weekend and kind of see, but I don't know if I'm gonna watch the episodes like regular. I'm definitely not gonna watch it live. I decided that because I'm just like, no, I have to be up early the next morning, and I'm just not doing that to myself.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll just see. It's a lot of unknown. We're just speaking on what we've seen. And yeah, you all know our thoughts about that.
So I really want to get into the character bios, and we have our captain, who is Don Hart, who is described as a rugged fire captain, a devoted husband, and a family man. But he has his secrets. Not only is he a veteran firefighter, but he was also a former rodeo rider, which I know I did see in a couple of the promos, like horses and stuff. So that's interesting. And I'm just like, it's interesting because I know, so Ryan and Blue are half brothers, and I'm really interested to see how, like, the story behind that, like, is it good or bad?
I literally just had this thought. That kind of sounds like Judd getting involved with the girl during the rodeo. Like, did that?
Yes, that's what.
Well, I'm like, are we going to be seeing a cheating storyline, or is it just going to be like an old girlfriend?
Curiously.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Also, like when you said has his secrets, my brain also went to, does he have a gambling? I don't know why my brain went to gambling. Does he have a gambling addiction? I don't know. Like, what is going?
Right.
I mean, we could pull in a gambling thing at this point. We've had a lot of other storylines.
Right. And then his wife is Blythe Hart, played by Jessica Capshaw. And we don't really know too much about her. I did just see a video. So now, since reading up about her, we know more, but obviously she's Don's wife and Ryan's mom. Apparently, they have horses, like, and apparently, they're not like or she doesn't come necessarily from a rich family, but they're just her family is described as loyalty, and they have a lot of businesses. Apparently, there's like a whiskey business or something that her family's a part of, and I'm just like, okay, that's I don't know.
Did they just choose every stereotype?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. This is
Tennessee whiskey.
not even that. This is how I feel. It feels very like soap opera, telenovela to me.
That's what I was thinking.
It doesn't fit the formula of the 9-1 universe. It just feels very like soap opera and whatever. I'm just that's my vibes on it right now before it's airing.
Whatever Ryan, Tim, and the writers were on while coming up with this show, tell me it so we can ban it.
Well,
just saying.
Yeah, it's funny because they went from one bad idea to another bad idea. Not to be like a hater, but they were gonna do 9-1 Hawaii, and then the locals obviously were like, we don't want that. Too many shows are set in Hawaii, and they're like basically taking over like their area, and nobody wants that. So, like that was like ixnayed. Yeah, I don't know. I have no thoughts whatsoever. But then we have Ryan Hart, and he's described as a modern day cowboy and firefighter. He is also supposedly a lieutenant at the 113, and all I had to say about that is Nepo baby. Because I'm like, how old is this? Because he looks about the same age as TK, and I'm just like, dude's like when TK in season 1. Let me preface, and I'm just like, okay, so you're a lieutenant at 26. I don't know how old he is.
That's a little early.
I don't know details like that wise, but like I'm just like I don't know, but like definitely like getting that vibe because I'm just like. Okay, so your dad's the captain, you're the lieutenant. Interesting. And you work at the same firehouse.
It is kind of nice to get a little shake up from the like lineman and the dynamic that TK and Owen started out in, and the dynamic that Bobby and Buck, I was gonna say had. Damn, that hurt. But it's a little nice. It is, I think, nice to get a little bit of a shake up. I will give that. Like, I feel like we don't really experiment with like officers. Obviously,
it has happened before.
We got the lieutenant battle in Lone Star. We got the battle off there for lieutenant. But I will say, like, I feel like with this particular like typecast of characters, I feel like this is a little different, but at least in the 9-1 universe, I'd like to preface. I don't know how I feel about it. Again, Nepo baby. I would prefer if he was in a different station, but obviously we wouldn't really get him then. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, following 2 stations at once, so no.
Yeah, like that sort of storyline has happened before, but the thing with it is it wasn't it wasn't a Nepo baby situation because like they actually worked for it, quote unquote. So I don't know, but just random side notes. I also know that Ryan is married. He has a wife named Samantha who is an ER nurse, so I'm interested to see how that's gonna play in.
Now that's different. Yeah, that is different.
But then we have Blue Bennings, a haunted
why is his last name Bennings? Why does that make it worse?
Yeah, I think they were going for the country vibe a little too hard.
I will say that the son of the character played by Leanne Rimes is named Blue, which was her first single. That got me. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. But yeah, his name's Blue Bennings.
Yeah, we can get that. I don't know why the last name Bennings just makes it worse for me. I don't know why it's the last name. I don't even mind the name Blue is the thing. Like, I actually think that's, as you all could tell, that was the only name I remembered out of any of them. But like,
it's kind of overused.
Somehow Bennings make it worse. Yeah. I haven't included. I have not.
Which I'll get to.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, he is described as a haunted bad boy turned firefighter who accidentally falls into a firefighting career when his gig as a stripper takes a dramatic turn. The journey also reunites him with Don, the biological father he never knew, and Ryan, the half-brother he never knew existed. His mom...
Guys, y'all are going to be loving Owen after this.
maybe let me get through this. So,
I'm sorry.
it's okay. I just like I need to at least get through the scene before we all just like children. Anyways, his mom convinces him to become a firefighter to get quote unquote his fair share. And yeah,
Okay.
also I know I saw one of the clips earlier where it's like each character in their own clip about the character, and there was one where he was like, it was like, oh, your name's Blue, and what the heck did he say? He was like, yeah, Blue, like something. I forget what it was. And I'm just like, yeah, that's so overdone because there's this character on Grey's Anatomy whose name is also, or I don't know if his name's Blue or if he just goes by Blue. And he's like, yeah, Blue, like the ribbon. And then, so this Blue said something very similar to that. And I'm just like, why are we doing these overdone things?
As I very rudely interrupted Katie with, y'all, I really think everyone who hated Owen is going to be loving him compared to this Dawn character. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Also, I think it's kind of fitting that he's playing a stripper because I believe the actor is on OF, and I'm just like, yep, that tracks. Like, no shame or problem with that. I'm just saying, like, it fits.
I feel like I'm in a like time warp. I feel like I've jumped universes.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just this is like the I feel like Mateo's episode where like everything's like switched around in that weird way in the WandaVision sense.
Yeah.
This just doesn't make any sense. What is going on?
I don't really have anything. We don't know anything about Dixie, which is Leanne Rimes' character, which is Blue's mom, but I don't know. There's definitely a rivalry between her and Blythe, and I'm interested to see what that is. I don't think it's necessarily going to be about them both sharing a baby daddy, quote unquote. I
They
definitely
kiss.
think I don't
What if they just kiss and be lesbians about her? So I don't know. I'm trying to help.
That's definitely not gonna happen. Okay,
Wait.
then we have Taylor, who is a firefighter who moonlights as a singer. And I'm like, finally, a POC.
Yay!
Same with, this is a character I'm most excited to see, which is Roxy, who is a firefighter, an adrenaline junkie, and a former trauma surgeon. She's also been confirmed as being our canon lesbian. And I'm like,
finally, something.
Finally.
So we have 2 POC and 1 queer character, right? Is that what we're sitting at? Okay.
Yeah. And I'm interested to see. I mean, obviously people are going to say whatever because I know people are like, oh, Taylor and Roxy are definitely going to be a couple. And I'm like, I don't know, guys, but like, we'll see what happens.
Like, well, again, we'll see. I'm not going to say anything before I see them.
And actually, I did see a clip where the lady that's like the dispatcher, her name's Cammie, she was singing with Taylor and they're singing at something. So, and obviously she sings in real life, so like that makes sense.
Oh, that's Kimberly William Paisley. Yeah,
I couldn't think of her name at the moment, so I was just like, wait a minute, wait a damn minute. So yeah, that makes total sense. And I'm interested to see that part of it. And like, I made a whole video talking about like these characters or whatever with their bios, and it was just so funny. And then I was just like, yeah, Cammie gives me very much like Abby vibes, but maybe just not dating a himbo. And I said, what if she and Blue? God. Oh, I don't know if I could take another one of those.
No thanks.
It's funny because people thought at first when like the cast pictures came out character pictures came out, this is like probably like a couple months ago, people were like, oh, Blue and Riot are gonna date. And this is before they were confirmed as half brothers. They could have made them gay and instead they made them brothers. I'm actually glad we didn't go there because I do not want something like they wouldn't have compared anyways, but I didn't want like something to like be like, oh, we're gonna make like the like cheap version of Tarlos. Timu Tarlos, yeah. I was like, yeah. I did not want that. I was like, because like honestly, Nashville is giving me like the Temu version of Lone Star.
It really is. The fact that every time I see Chris, I never know if I'm looking at Bobby or Owen. It doesn't help.
Yeah.
Okay, it is gonna be
I'm
so.
still getting tripped.
It is gonna be so hard for me to see Jessica Capshaw as Blythe because like all I know her as is Arizona Robbins.
I know
Who
usually that's when I want to say her name. That's what comes out.
who let me just add as a lesbian. I'm just like, but she's Arizona. Like she should not be like dating this man. It's gonna be so hard for me.
Yeah.
And also the fact that she very like she's like been off Grey's a while, but like she's also came back and then she might come back again. And I'm just like, okay, that's gonna be weird. Like I get they
Yeah.
don't film in the same city, so it's fine.
Right.
But it's still gonna be weird.
Y'all, I don't know.
I don't know. Like I am excited for like Roxy's character Roxy. Like I'm excited for her character because I think she's probably like the most
Yeah.
interesting character. I feel like I don't know.
I think the lesbian and also the former trauma surgeon. I'm like, oh, okay. How do we
piqued
get
my
here?
interest.
yeah,
I'm like, oh, okay, okay.
because
Love that.
other shows have done that just opposite way around. Like there was a character on
Yeah.
Chicago Fire that eventually showed up as Chicago Med as a doctor. So they went from firefighter to doctor.
Oh,
That's
fun.
interesting. And there's been shows where like cops showed up as doctors later on. So I like that and like it's a good perspective too. And it will definitely be interesting, but I don't know what we're walking into. It's gonna I don't know. I don't know. We'll see like if we see familiar faces because you never
Hmm.
know. I know
Right.
that was teased a while ago that they wanted to do that. I don't know. We will see.
Yeah. See, like again, we're all gonna watch it at some point and we'll see what we think. Yeah. Like, I don't know, a couple of things about the bios do pique my interest for a couple of
Mhm.
characters. For
Yeah.
sure. Like I think I agree, like Roxy does sound the most interesting so far. A lot of the rest of the bios do sound like something out of, as we were talking about, like a telenovela or like a kind of weird romance book or something like I don't know. But we'll see.
Yeah. Or like a weird fanfic. There's like some things that I would read, but I'd never want to watch a whole TV show on it.
Hmm.
Like I don't know. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like that's just how I feel. Um, but I don't know. I hope that like they're just doing this to like get people to watch and then it'll be completely different, but I don't know.
We'll see. I feel like we know a lot about this show, but also we know nothing of sustenance.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they really haven't put too much out there.
Which is probably a good thing.
Yeah,
Probably.
although like I don't know. It's funny because if you go off of their comment section, the comments on it are pretty negative, but if you go on their page, they're like pretty positive. Which I get it, like and stuff, but like I don't know. I'm interested to see how many people watch. I'm like interested to see their ratings, like with the
Yeah.
first episode, because usually like premieres people might watch,
Yeah.
um, and stuff, and sometimes it's
Yeah, they're
like
gonna
if
have to blow it
9-1's
out.
airing, people might still watch
Mm-hmm.
after 9-1 stops and be like, wait, what is this? I know like a lot of people that probably know like Jessica Capshaw and know Chris will probably might check it out. And stuff.
Literally, Chris O'Donnell is the only cast on here that I knew existed even. So,
Yeah.
but I know like a lot of I know like as she was saying, some of these names, other names are well known. I just watch very particular shows, so I don't know. Again, we'll see. We'll see. Like, I have no idea what we're going to be walking into.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out.
Well, and
Right.
I got to thinking too, it's like, this for us is like the first time in this franchise that we've really had since starting the podcast that we've really had the start of a new series. Because when we
That's a good
started, Lone Star had already had season 1, and we had jumped in, kind of covered season 1 before season 2 started. So this is the first time we're really experiencing the build up to a new series, which just sucks that we're not getting Lone Star. But yeah, so it's just like new experiences for us in the franchise.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like we had an Austin, you know, set series in Texas, and then we had LA, and they're both warm weathered cities. I just wish they would have gone north a little further. I would have been fine with like Detroit, or like honored Bobby by going back to Minnesota and doing like, you know, some like Minneapolis, St. Paul, or I don't know, just, and I know
fucking like Maine. I don't know, like
yeah.
cold.
So it's just, I'm like, now we're getting another like southern version of like Lone Star-esque. And Grace, I get what you're saying of, you know, like looking at Chris O'Donnell's character, you're not sure if you're looking at Owen or Bobby. And I get it, because I see it too. Yeah. So it's
I think we started saying that pretty early on, actually. Like that was, I think, one of the things that stuck out to us first.
But the difference, I think, for now, going into this, is that we know he's married, which Bobby, when we first met him, was not married. He was widowed, and Owen was divorced from wife number 3. So
he only had 2 wives.
I know, but I like to joke that he had 3 ex-wives.
Yeah.
True.
He was
at this point, we should just say 6 ex-wives. I'm just making Henry VIII, but like he didn't kill them.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. No, I could say the same. I think we've said it so many different ways that
so many.
Nashville is going to be Nashville, and we're going to watch it, and we're going to see what it's like. And if we don't like it, we're not going to cover it. If we do, we'll work on getting it into this podcast somehow.
If nothing else, it might just be one that we watch, like a train wreck you can't look away from.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I don't really, like, if I'm not into it, I don't really want to watch it just because we're going to talk about it, you know what I mean? Like, because I would just be, like, hate watching it at that point, and I'm like, man, that's not really fun.
At that point, let's just not give them the views,
Yeah, we'll be honest about it, and, you know.
And if maybe we can always pick up another.
Yeah, and if you want to talk about it, we have a spot for the Nashville characters and the actors. If you want to talk about it, go find our Discord.
And like also, I feel like if we hear, like if we stopped watching, like if we did not like the premiere, and we heard that it like got wildly better later in the season or something like that, I feel like maybe we'd be open to giving it another shot. I know I'm saying that for me. I don't know about like you guys.
I think I'd probably, unless it was really bad, I think I would give it the season and see how I feel.
Yeah.
And I know they've been doing like lots of press, not even just for 9-1, but for Nashville, because they just did Hot Ones with Chris and Jessica and Oliver and Kenny, which was really funny. If you guys haven't watched that, you definitely should, because it was hilarious. I loved the part where, like, Kenny, they were asking, like, oh, the creator of your show likes to kill off people in really traumatic ways. And Oliver just goes, okay, we're going to be eating. And like, it wasn't, like, the question they expected and stuff. It was just, like, basically be like, Kenny, plead for your character not to be killed off. And it's like, and I loved also the part, I think it was like one of the first things where he had to explain Chimney and like really quickly, and it's like, well, Chimney, he's been like almost killed off like 6 times. And this happened and that happened, he got rebar in his skull, and I'm just like, it was such like a perfect intro. I feel like we pretty much hit anything, but I don't know what I would like to see. I just hope it's good. I don't know. I just don't want it to be like cliche or cheesy. I want to see cool emergencies. I want to see different emergencies. I think that's my main thing, is the fact that we're getting a tornado when we got a tornado on Lone Star. And I'm not denying that it's not because, like, I get it, other places get different natural disasters, like the same natural disasters, like tornadoes, snowstorms, blah, blah, blah. But, like, it's just the fact that they were both in season 1 and they're giving us a tornado. And I'm like, I get it, but I'm also like, we couldn't have thought of anything else we could have done for, like, the first opener. I don't know, because even, like, they have so
I would have even just settled for that giant guitar falling on someone's head. Like,
yeah. And one of their posters had like basically somebody dangling from a roller coaster, and I'm like, funny, we haven't seen that before.
Original.
And I think even like one of the 911 news pages posted about that, been like, we've seen this before, and I'm like, we sure have. Yeah, we're just here for the ride. That's all I really could say.
I'm excited for the new season to start.
Yes. Let's all do infinity and beyond this shit.
Right.
I love that. Thank you guys so much for joining us and listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And you can also find us on YouTube. You guys can follow the podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at 91LS Roundup, and on our website, which is 91lsroundup.com. Also, don't forget, we do have a Discord server. We'd love to chat about like these new seasons on there. So the link is in the description of this podcast and also on our website and socials. You guys can follow me, Katie F. Love Carlos, on TikTok, Instagram, and Threads.
You guys can follow me, Grace, at RonanRafa911 on Instagram and Threads.
You can find me, EJ, at EJ8302 on Instagram and Threads. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.